Hi, everyone. Welcome to Gratitude Tuesdays on our new time for the new year. We'll be meeting at noon from here on out. And you guys are always welcome to come in and join us and take part in finding some gratitude. We're going to start off the new year with an article that I found on theconversation.com. It's called This New Year Rethinking Gratitude. So I'm sure a lot of people with the new year, talking about resolutions and things that you want to change or things you want to improve. So I thought it would be a good way to start things off, because one thing that we should always try to incorporate in that New Year's resolution, and hopefully all year as much as we can, is to practice some gratitude in our lives. So I was always taught that a grateful addict will never use, and I've kind of held on to that and trying to find the brighter side of things. So it starts off with this new year, rethinking gratitude. It's a new year, which means that it's also time to imagine new beginnings and better futures. And it's time, in short, for New Year's resolutions. Gratitude in particular has become a popular resolution. For many of us, living gratefully seems to promise more happiness in our lives. But what if we've got gratitude all wrong? This person said that they started writing their book, The Art of Gratitude, because I too believe that gratitude might offer an antidote to the anger, fear, and resentment that characterize contemporary life. And for many of us, those three things are what keep us in active addiction. There's the fear of what's going to happen. There's the anger that, we've allowed ourselves to get to the point that we have. And there's these resentments that we build up, against other people, against ourselves. And all of those things keep us sick and suffering in addiction. So he goes on to say, but as I read one self-help book after another, about gratitude, it had the opposite effect on me. The more I read, the less grateful I felt. And we've talked about this before. Like, sometimes you start diving into things and then you're overthinking it or putting too much focus on the wrong things. So, we try and keep things simple to keep you on track. So they said, I came to ask, does the problem lie in how gratitude tends to be defined? So the debt of gratitude. Gratitude is often defined as a feeling of obligation and indebtedness towards those who give us a gift or help us out in some way. Consider how often many of us use the phrase, I owe you a debt of gratitude, or one good turn deserves another. The debt of gratitude idea dates back to the foundations of Western culture, to Aristotle, Cicero, and the New Testament. According to a leading contemporary expert on gratitude, UC Davis psychology professor Robert Emmons, quote, to be grateful means to allow oneself to be placed in the position of recipient, to feel indebted and aware of one's dependence on others. Or, as Emmons argues elsewhere, gratitude is, quote, an acknowledgement of debt, and ingratitude is, quote, the refusal to admit one's debt to others. These are two concepts that we want to break away from. Gratitude is not about being in debt to someone else, and it's not about holding that debt over someone else. It's about doing the next right thing for the right reason. And that's what this article goes on to say. So continues, in this framework, people are debtors and the givers of debt. According to philosophy, Shelley Kagan, if someone, quote, if someone does you a favor, you owe them something. You owe them a debt of gratitude. Again, we're going to break away from this. People judge the value of others based on what they can offer. And I think if you're like me in active addiction, that's all anything was. It was about what I could get from someone else, what you could do for me, what you could give me, how I could use you, how I could manipulate you, anything that would give me the upper hand to use someone else. So she's going to say that Emmons writes, quote, gratitude requires that a giver give not only a gift, but also a gift dear to himself, a pearl of great price, as it were. The degree to which we feel gratitude always hinges on this internal secret assessment of cost. It is intrinsic to the emotion and perfectly logical. We don't feel all that grateful for gifts that we receive that cost little or nothing to the giver. So, in other words, gifts and kindnesses involve a calculation of costs, which extends to repayment. Gifts are calculated gestures that must be repaid with an expression of thanks and, if possible, reciprocal gifts. This is something that I struggled with for a very long time, and I still, you know what I mean, struggle with this. That when someone is there to giving me a gift, especially for no reason that I know of anyway, I feel like I owe them. I feel like, why are you doing this for me? Now, do I have to do something for you? Because, when you're out there and you're in active addiction, or even if you're just like in a toxic relationship, a lot of times things are given to you as a way to manipulate and get what the other person wants. So, it's that, let's say Christmas, for instance. Like this year, my focus was on my family and my kids. So I didn't do gifts like I normally would for, friends or extended family. But I had friends give me gifts, and I start to feel like this guilt that, well, now I owe you something. I couldn't do this for you. So, you could for me. You shouldn't have done it because I couldn't do it. But when it all comes down to it, that's not what it's about. And none of them expected anything in return. They just did it because they wanted to, because the holiday and the season of giving is about giving, not about what you can get in return from it. So it goes on to say, thinking in such terms might encourage people to see their relationships in economic terms, as transactions to be judged by market criteria of gain and loss. To that end, the Christian radio show host Nancy Lee DeMoss advises keeping a gratitude journal, just like a bank statement or a checkbook registry, as a place to manage gratitude debts. It says, quote, "I want to encourage you to think of gratitude as being a debt you owe, the same way you're called upon to pay your monthly bills." No. That's not how we want to look at it, because this concept of gratitude can really start to take a toll on you. It can cause stress, to make you like worried that you're not good enough or you can't return this. It's going to make you feel guilty, as if you're taking something from someone. And gratitude isn't about any of that. It's simply about appreciating what you have, who gave you the gift, why they gave you the gift, and so on. Again, I do this. So my daughter lives in Florida, and she bought us these bracelets so we can keep connected to each other. So if we tap it, the other bracelet lights up and like vibrates. So it's just like a little reminder, hey, I'm here, even though you're, hours and hours away. And she paid for it. She sent it to me. And I felt like, well, this is something for both of us. I should pay for half of this at least. And like, she's like, Mom, you having it and being connected, that's what's important to me, not half the money for the jewelry. So, and those are the things that mean the most. To know that all she wanted was to be able to be connected to me, even though she's so far away. She wasn't looking for the money for it. She wasn't looking for me to buy anything in return. She just wanted that connection. And that is the gratitude. So it goes on. The next section is the art of gratitude. So this is where we're going to kind of start breaking some of these misleading things that we started off here with, and these ideas that we held on to, during the holidays, that, I have to buy this person something, I have to buy that person something, and so on, to kind of give you a new view and a new attitude about it as we go into the new year. So it starts by saying gratitude is about more than individual happiness. My happiness is bound with yours and with everyone else's. Gratitude authors who urge us to focus on the debts we owe to others are reminding us of this fact. I, however, argue in the art of gratitude that the rhetoric of the debt of gratitude sets us down a dangerous road. I completely agree. The trouble is that the value of our relationships cannot be calculated with numbers on the page, and trying to do so might make us miss out on what is most important. And that's right. If we're focusing on what we need to do in return or how we need to repay this person, we're going to lose sight of what the purpose of the gift or whatever it may be was in the first place. Take, for example, a recent gift I received of a nice aluminum water bottle. A friend said that she saw it and thought of me. Of course, I thanked her, but rather than immediately calculate the cost of the gift and determine how I would repay her, I asked, why did you choose a water bottle? She told me where she grew up in the United States, she did not have access to clean water. I travel a lot and she wanted me to take clean water with me wherever I went. Moreover, she hoped that it would help cut down on plastic bottle waste because she said we all share this planet. There's the gratitude. So just like I shared about the bracelets with me and my daughter, it wasn't about me calculating how much the gift was worth. It was about what it meant. And this person took the time to ask that question and find out that they weren't given this bottle because the person wanted something in return for it. The person was finding something that could help and like a purpose that meant something to them, such as, the clean water and cutting down on the plastic. So like this person's small gesture is actually something that impacts a lot more than the $12 it probably costs for this bottle. Turn the page. So they want to say that I might have missed all of this had I only pondered on how best to repay it. Instead, this gift prompted a conversation that reminded me of our fundamental interconnectedness. My actions, she was saying, impacted her life, just as her actions impacted my own. I think it's pretty profound to see, something as simple as a water bottle making such a big impact on not just one person, but, the planet in general. And then the last section of this is the interconnected world. It is crucial to recognize that our daily practices of gratitude have broader social and political implications. Say I feel gratitude for access to clean water or to clean air. I feel this gratitude because I grew up with asthma and I know how hard it can be to breathe polluted air. I need not feel indebted to anyone for this clean air. Clean air is not a gift. I'm grateful because clean air is necessary for life. Some of those things that we take for granted, that we don't consider, not everywhere has clean air, or as in the situation with the bottle, clean water. So as much as we just assume that those things are, everywhere, we actually have some advantages that others don't when it comes to these types of things. And they can kind of slip through the cracks when it comes to gratitude. So it goes on to say, same is true for clean water. There is currently, however, a potentially grave challenge to clean water in the county where they live. Looking through grateful eyes, attuned to the support necessary to live and thrive, I can recognize a threat to clean water as a personal threat. Though it is personal, it cannot be remedied alone. I must reach out to others who will also be affected so that we can act together to manage it. The takeaway of my book is that indebtedness is not the only way to relate. Examples that like these prove that all of us are deeply dependent upon the material support of the earth, and that also speaks to the interconnectedness. My resolution this year is therefore to practice the art of gratitude by imagining my life and the world in which I live as an opportunity, not a debt. And say that again, it's an opportunity, not a debt. I resolve to focus on what is necessary and to work together with others to make it possible for all to live and to live well because we live together. I hope that you will join me. So when you were making that New Year's resolution on things you wanted to change or things you wanted to improve, make sure you include gratitude in that, because sometimes our New Year's resolutions can get a little overwhelming and we're going to want to give up, or we get frustrated, and kind of having gratitude for the small progress can make that sort of thing easier. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining us on our first meeting of the new year and our new time at noon. And please come in, come see us, come join. We have a lot of activities that we can do here. We have gratitude journals if you want to come in and start one, or if you just want to join us online, we would love to have you. So thank you.